But what did I think was going to happen? What did I think was going to happen? If I had my highest revenue month ever now, ever on record in 4 years, my highest revenue month. Yay me. What did I think was going to happen? This is going to come eventually. This was bound to happen. And whatever growing pains you are at the moment was bound to happen too. Welcome to Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. This is episode 125, and it's a bit of a chatty thinking through process episode about growing pains, about the next problem you're looking to solve, about the next step you need to take to grow your online business. If you have a Shopify store and you're here in Australia and you are listening to me, then this episode might just be what you need to hear today to help you sort of work through your next problem. And I want to help you feel that way or encourage you to solve the next problem. Don't give up and keep going because of a problem I'm having at the moment. It's actually not a bad problem. It's a really good problem. But my next sort of problem to solve that I feel in my business with growing my e-commerce store is a bit of growing pains. I feel like I'm at the point where I've come to a bit of a crossroads, a bit of I've reached kind of the edge of a bracket, and I'm kind of going to the next bracket, and I need to change up some things and probably fundamentally do some things a bit differently in order to continue to grow. If you've been in business for, well, even a short time but grown rapidly, you will probably have the solution for me, and you'll be far further down the track than I am. Or if you've been in business for many years, you've gone through this iteration of solving your next problem in order to grow many times. And the stage I find myself at is a really great problem is that March 2025 is my highest revenue month ever in 4 years for my little e-commerce store. So I started it in 2021, and as it was getting through the late part of March, I was watching my metrics in Shopify with interest, like looking, going, wow, this is okay. I'm close to Black Friday's month. I'm close to November 2024, which was my highest month ever back then. And then as the month continued on and there was still almost a week left of March, I surpassed my Black Friday revenue. I thought, oh my goodness, is this my biggest month ever? Have I actually had my biggest revenue month ever now in March 2025? And I did. So yeah, I'm excited to share that with you. If you've listened to my podcast, I started this podcast 2 years ago from very, very early starts in e-commerce, and to now I've crossed over to my largest revenue ever for my e-commerce store in a month window, which now means new problems to solve. I've struggled with keeping up with my order fulfillment now for a couple of months, and I think I shared with you in an episode a little while ago that I'm now paying somebody to help me pack orders, and I need to continue that. That needs to stay a priority for me to make sure that I am generating enough orders for this person to pack so that it's beneficial to my business long term. It means growth. So I could go back and do it myself and save the money, but that feels like a step backwards in my head. So if you find yourself at a awkward spot, maybe it's causing some tension in your life and in your business. It's causing tension in my home now because of the room I need to keep my stock is starting to take over. So if you find that there's a problem that you're facing at the moment that might be causing some tension, it's probably your next thing you need to solve to move forward. You can only put it off for so long, and you can only put it off for so long before you start going backwards. And before I had somebody helping me pack orders, I shared with you on a recent episode that I knew I was beginning to get to the place that it was going to start to go backwards, because if I had a great day with lots of sales, like 2 years ago, that was my most exciting thing ever, and it would make me feel super excited. But because the business is now growing to a point where I'm fighting for time to do the things I know that need to be done, then to have a big sale day means the first thought in my head was like, wow, when am I going to pack these? When can I squeeze this in the next 48 hours to make sure I pack these and get them out the door? And I recognized that was a terrible way to think. I knew that was not helpful at all, and that meant my business was going to start to go backwards very quickly if I didn't snap out of that mindset and like solve that problem fast. And so I have solved that problem now. And now the business can breathe a bit. In that sense, I feel like that's why it's growing. It's continuing to grow because there's that space now. There's that margin. There's the room that now the system is there that someone is going to pack for me. That frees up mentally my headspace. And now I feel more free to go and drive more traffic and drive more sales to continue to grow. I hope this episode is I hope you find it valuable. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm telling you to suck eggs, or if you're listening to me like, she has no idea, like how early on in business is she? These problems are so small compared to what I'm dealing with. If you feel that way, I apologize. You've probably tuned out and gone to find something else to listen to. But I'm just trying to be a bit real with you guys to keep it transparent that this is what it's like day to day in e-commerce, and it's what it's like day to day growing an e-commerce store in my life. And also the side of the same time, I have my service clients. So I have this podcast. You can work with me. You can go to my website and book a free discovery call. And I have clients that I support with their email marketing, with their ads on Meta. So I have two sort of parts to this, and I really wanted to bring my current growing pains. It's not a problem. My current growing pains for my e-commerce store to you guys, and to share with you that's sort of where I'm at after the milestone of my biggest ever revenue month ever, which I'm really thrilled about. And I guess I need to stop and probably celebrate that a little bit, rather than knowing that means a new problem to solve, rather than being caught in the problems to solve around that, because I need to solve those things and be excited to move on to continue to grow to the next bracket. So yeah, that's sort of that are in like the forefront of my mind of things I need to do something about to continue this growth and not stagnate and start to go backwards or bail, is finding someone to pack orders, which I do have. She helps me a couple of blocks of hours a week, so not enough yet to fully solve this for me, but enough that I can afford at the moment. I have a bookkeeper which I have had now for over a year, and so she's fundamental to me. I need to keep her. I'm not going back to do my own books. There's no way. I also need to solve the problem of where to keep my inventory. That is a problem because it's causing issues. It's starting to clutter up areas of my home, which clutters up my brain. I'm not a minimalist by any means, but I definitely prefer less clutter. I like to see clean, open areas that don't have things on them. So the stock that's living in my home, and I'm buying so much more, which I shared in my episode about why my profit is down so much last year, because my revenue was up, but my profit was down because I'm like outlaying heaps of cash of new inventory, and I got to have places to keep this stuff. So I actually have been looking around my local town and surrounding suburbs for somewhere to lease or to rent or hire. If you're in South Australia, please contact me. I'm looking for a very small space, and I need to speak to people I know. I feel, because I don't know. I cannot stomach signing something yet. I still feel that feels far too a bigger leap for me to sign something. I feel like I want to move in somewhere casually that might be a bit more expensive per week, but I could get out of it if I wanted to. Uh, I feel like if I made that decision, the revenue would grow to match it. I would hustle to make it work, a bit like having somebody to pack my orders. Now there's somebody there for those hours a week. I'm hustling to make it work. And I sort of need to back myself perhaps a bit more that would be the same case with some sort of small warehouse that I could work from as well. I need to be able to work from there and have things stored there, causing some frustration, but if a good reason. And maybe this episode is an encouragement for you today to take some time, put it in your diary, in your calendar. I'll do that too as soon as I finish recording, to celebrate the success that is that problem, the success that is that immediately next step of a growing pains. Remember, you are the captain of your ship. You are the driver of your steam train in your business. And the problem you choose to solve is the problem somebody else will stop at. And I say that often, and I feel that genuinely. I genuinely believe that. And I see that when I watch other small businesses online, and perhaps you do too, particularly if I see creators on social media or on TikTok sharing their struggles and what's going on in their business. And then I start to see a bit of a pattern. So let me share this with you before I say goodbye, is that a creator I followed a couple of years ago. I watched her content for about a year, and she grew on TikTok organically. She was very open about her journey. It was very relatable. And so I watched her. We were at a similar stage in our business at the time as well. This was probably 2 years ago. Then there came a time where for a few months I watched her attitude change and I watched her mindset change. I could see in the way she spoke, the way she was on camera, the things she chose to speak about with her customers and her followers. She was frustrated with her business. What's the very next step for your small business in growing online here in Australia? Often things like email marketing or Facebook ads are things that small businesses come up against often that can be really costly to solve and really hard to find someone that you trust to look after those projects. I work with small online businesses here in Australia on those two very things. They dovetail together so well. They support each other so well. In my own e-commerce store in 2024, 36% of all of my revenue came directly from email marketing efforts. And my total revenue across the year was up 30% on 2023. So I am perfectly placed to support you in growing online with your very next steps. I've sort of been told I am the small budget or baby budget Facebook ad specialist, and I totally endorse that and embrace it. I love that title. If you want to work on Facebook ads, I can work with a small budget or a large budget. Or if you want to work on email marketing inside Klaviyo or another CRM, I can build flows and segments for you to ensure your deliverability remains strong, because no one wants to end up in a spam folder that stops us from sending emails. Reach out to me for a free discovery call. You can put it right in my calendar and we can talk for 25 minutes about your business and how I'm best placed to support you for a 30-day project window. You don't need to sign up to a long, expensive retainer. We can work together one-on-one just for a small period of time to begin with on a specific project to see how well we work together and see what results I can get you and your business next. Now back to the episode. And she was becoming desperate because her sales had dipped. She didn't know what to do to get them back except to plead with people who were watching to order and talk about the struggles of keeping a business afloat and how could she ever do this and her job, and she's going to have to close. It came across. That was a growing pains point for her. It was a frustration. It was a problem she needed to solve. She wasn't growing. That's why she was frustrated. But all of these things are indications to us that our mindset is so critical in business. Hey, like it's such a key part of what we do, and what we need to invest in is our beliefs and our mindset and what we think about ourselves and what we say about ourselves day to day. So to watch this creator go from bubbly, effervescent, positive, grateful to frustrated, desperate, sad, despondent, and then ultimately she closed her business. So she closed it, and then I still follow her. I haven't seen her now online for nearly a year. Was really sad to watch, but not uncommon, hey? And you might be listening to this feeling like you're in the same spot, or you're probably listening to this knowing you have seen people in the same positions. But I want to encourage you and encourage me at the same time while I'm saying it, is that the very next problem we solve is our next growth point. Our very next growing pains, tension or problem or issue or problem that you actually have to solve, or just the next puzzle that you need to work out, the next frustration is actually a growth point. It's actually going to move you to the next step. It's going to keep you going in the direction you want to be going to grow your business in your Shopify store. And you need to solve the problem. There's a solution to it. Somewhere somebody has a solution to it. And it's probably that you either need to go back to, what works, or you need to experiment with a few different things. You need to listen to my podcast and previous episodes and other small online business podcasts as well, and get some inspiration, some motivation, some new ideas of what to test and try. Or you need some support. If you're like me with the problems I'm facing at the moment, I keep saying problems. They're really not problems at all. There's actually things to celebrate. But you know what I mean? Is that I need to celebrate what's happening, and I need to get support to move me to the next stage. I need to work out what to do with the stuff that's taking over my home, and that will help me be able to do more of this in a quiet space of my own. I could go live more often with my e-commerce store, knowing the space is my own. I could be packing orders far more efficiently when I pack orders now. Having somebody help me pack orders has opened up like a whole new level of nuances and little intricacies I didn't realize I was doing when I pack, which are so inefficient. But now I'm paying somebody to do it. Those inefficiencies are being made obvious to me. I need to solve that problem as the business owner. That's my responsibility. And that's how I will continue to grow. So solve your next problem. Solve whatever is right in front of you and don't continue to put it off. You can only put it off for so long before it either starts to negatively impact your business and you go backwards, or probably you'll notice for sure your mindset really starts to suffer. It will definitely start playing on your mind. So take control of it. Like, it's your business. You drive it. You drive that traffic. If traffic is your issue, you go find those people and get them to your website. It's totally within your control to solve. This is totally within my control as well. So these growing pains are good things for me, and it needs to go forward. I can't go back. I can't reduce the amount of stock I have here. I cannot reduce the amount of inventory. I can't stop someone help me packing orders. I need to lean into that and like fix my mindset to make sure it's I'm fully on board with what a good thing this is, and then make it work for me and my family. That's what I need to do. And then celebrate the success that it is along the way, which I am happy about it. I really am. I guess I would be even happier if I had somewhere to keep all these boxes. That's what I would be. Even happier. But what did I think was going to happen? What did I think was going to happen? If I had my highest revenue month ever now, ever on record in 4 years, my highest revenue month. Yay me. What did I think was going to happen? This is going to come eventually. This was bound to happen. And whatever growing pains you are at the moment was bound to happen too. And plenty of other businesses have solved it and have grown past that, and you will too. So go ahead, solve the problem, and celebrate the success that is that growing pain, because it means you are moving in the right direction. If you are looking back to where your business was a year ago and you're like, I could not go back to that a year ago, then that's something to celebrate. Be encouraged. That is a good thing. If you don't want to be where you were at a year ago, that's amazing. Then imagine where you'll be in another year's time. But you won't be there without solving your next problem or without working out the logistics and the new way to operate your business to accommodate these growing pains and this growth, to accommodate and make room for the growth. Me moving stock out of my home, whenever that happens, having somebody pack orders for me has given me the capacity to breathe and make room for growth, so that I'm excited to go get new orders, excited to find new customers, and I'll be excited to order new stock and have it arrive and be able to mark it off and have it to go to its special home without being split between 3 rooms in my house. When I have a space dedicated to it, I'll be excited to welcome in those new things and share them with my customers and then get them out the door. And then that mindset is positive, and I will back myself. I'll keep backing myself and continue to show up for my customers in a way that's positive and encouraging before I slip into desperate or annoyed or despondent, which at the moment I'm not, because things are growing. But that's the cycle. Hey, like, it's a roller coaster. Things will get quiet again and things will get busy again. So sort of don't be too surprised when these things come up. I'm telling myself this is part of growing. And now I want to find a space, and I need to commit to the financial commitment of it. I need to commit to the financial commitment of it, knowing that I will hustle to make it work. I will hustle to make it work. The same as I have hustled to make paying somebody to pack orders work, hence my biggest revenue month ever. I will hustle to pay a lease or a rent to make that work. And what a cool journey to share with my customers. Hey, how much fun would that be to share on my social media and emails with all my customers and followers? That would be really cool. Well, thanks for hanging out with me with this episode. If you listened through the end, I so appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Maybe this was keeping you company on this Thursday in your next struggle, or what's going on in your business day to day, and just letting you know you're not alone. We are all at different points in business and e-commerce, and the problems I'm solving and the celebrations I'm having are different from yours. So what's going on in your world? I'd love to know. You can find me at Aussie Online Growing on shopify.com.au. As always, hey, keep learning.